think with, well, like, I can't hear it when I'm talking about looking through my eyes. It seems like sometimes I can see without my glasses. There's been times I used to wear contacts before, and I thought, oh, I left the contacts in when I went to bed at night, just because I'm seeing clearly. But to find out that I didn't even have my contacts in, that was a couple years ago. So periodically, sometimes I can see perfectly clear with my eyes, and then more times than not, I'm obviously wearing my glasses, and so I would prefer to not have to wear glasses and see clearly. And so what, if you could guide me on being able to see clearly or without my glasses?
Well, it's an interesting thing because we're talking about focus, aren't we? And so, do you feel that there's a variable in your focusing? You're calling it unconscious, but you seem to see differently. Esther had quite an interesting experience to her several years ago when they moved to a new state. She went to get a new driver's license and had to take the eye examination. And when she looked into the little contraption, it had been many years since she'd looked into one of those things, and she couldn't read it. And she said, "This is broken." And they said, "No, it is working perfectly well." And Esther said, "It seems to be broken." And the woman said, "Well, you can go have your eyes examined and get some glasses and come back and take the test again." And Esther said, "Well, let's just try it one more time." And so she looked into the broken machine and she said, "Abraham, can you read these numbers?" And so we did, using her eyes to see. And Esther found that to be quite interesting, that when she was looking through her eyes into the machine, she could not read them. But when we looked through her eyes into the machine, we could. And it made her stop and consider it is the same eyes. It is just a different expectation, meaning a different ability to focus. And so we think it's interesting that you see in your dreams and your eyes are closed altogether. In other words, you have the ability to focus into visual even with your eyes closed. And so it's about that. It's fun to consider it, but it's really all about expectation. Sometimes when you're very tired, don't you notice that you can see better when your eyes are more refreshed than when you're weary all day? If you look into a computer all day, as the day goes on, you see less and less well. Some of you are noticing that with the new fluorescent lights that are popular everywhere, your vision is translating things differently. In other words, you always see better. Haven't you noticed that when you are outside in the bright sunlight, it's easier for you to read something than when you are in a place where the light is diminished? And so there are all kinds of factors that have to do with your ability to focus. But most of it is just intention and belief. We know that inside the vortex, all things are possible. And that outside the vortex, even things that should go well don't. So it's about that. Meanwhile, and this is a significant part to add to this conversation, by making peace with where you are rather than railing against it, you reduce resistance. And resistance is at the heart of all discomfort, displeasure, and dysfunction. So as you do anything and everything you can to lower resistance, your ability to translate through into your vision will improve, but your ability to thrive in all ways will improve. So we're really talking about vibrational alignment with the whole of that which you are. That's what ultimate well-being is, you see. Many people have learned to accept deficiencies, and we would say the extreme and profound and chronic deficiency that humans accept as normal is that of negative emotion. It's just normal to be ornery and normal to be overwhelmed and normal to meaning it's practiced and perfected. Where if we were standing in your physical shoes, we wouldn't put up with any of that. We would not endure negative emotion. We'd find thoughts that feel better. And in doing so, thriving would express itself in many different ways, good vision being among them.
So since it's been, I'm going to say third grade, I guess, when I got glasses, I guess I've just been trained in a way to not see clearly.
Well, your glasses make it easier for you. Your glasses cause you to focus your eyes differently. In other words, your glasses are not merely a function of magnification. They are a function of focusing. And so, haven't you noticed? Try this sometime just to show yourself. Get up in the morning. It's interesting, as you were able to see and you thought you'd left your contacts in. And they weren't in, but you were seeing as if they were in because your eyes were functioning as if they were in. So now that you're wearing glasses, try it a few times over the next week or two, where you get up and don't put your glasses on right away. Just function with your eyes and notice what your ability to see is. And then put your glasses on and notice the improvement that your glasses bring. Then, for a few days, do the opposite. Put your glasses on first and then try to see without them second. And notice that with your glasses, you will see better in any case. But in the first example, where you are looking before you put your glasses on, you'll notice that looking is keener than when you put your glasses on first, because your glasses focus your eyes in a way that then requires them in order to see.
I misunderstood exactly what you're saying about when I don't put my glasses on first, I will be more focused.
Well, if you, for example, you get up and you don't have your glasses on and you attempt to read something. In other words, you do your best and you do your best to see how you can and notice that with some reasonable ability you can read even without your glasses. Then put your glasses on and notice that it's better. Then the next day, put your glasses on and read first, then take your glasses off and try to read, and you'll notice that now that you've had your glasses on and you've focused your eyes into them, it's more difficult for them to read without them. And all this exercise does is show you that your glasses are training your eyes to focus. And we are submitting to you, you don't need glasses to train your eyes to focus. You can focus without them. But we are not on a campaign to get rid of glasses. We think it's nice that your glasses make it easy for you to see. We just know that you have the ability to focus on all kinds of things. In other words, your glasses are an easy fix for vision. It really is easier by most physical standards to put glasses on than it is to learn to focus. But what about focusing yourself into wellness and away from so many would say, well, it was easier to go to the surgeon and have that infected thing removed than it was to focus myself back into wellness. And we say, we get that to a degree, but after a while, you might want to take focusing first, getting into the vortex first. That's really the point that we're making to your inspired question.
Like I'll do that. I don't put my glasses on first, and I'm seeing as clear as I'm seeing, which is happy enough in that moment because I'm not having to read anything. And then sometimes, like I'll put my glasses on, and it almost seems like they aren't as good. I was like, I'll actually will check to see if it almost seems like it distorted my view a little bit on the worst side.
Well, it certainly is changing it. And if you were to tell that to your optometrist, he would say, oh, we need to change your glasses. In other words, to your ever-changing deficiency. But we're not believing in the deficiency. We think that you have the ability to focus your eyes.
And it's just going to be a process of practice.
If it matters to you, yes. But
Okay.
it's like, in other words, you have to care about it. It's like focusing anything. Most humans are getting by pretty well, focused way out of the vortex. But life could be so much better if you focus into the vortex. So maybe this will be an opportunity for you to just. We're using it as an example to talk about focusing thought, while you're really more talking about focusing your ability to see. But it's really the same thing, isn't it?
Yes.
And by focusing with thought, we're saying, hold a desire and bring your belief and expectation into the same place. Well, if you want to see, but you believe that you need to wear glasses to see, then you need to wear glasses to see. If you want to see and you don't have any glasses and you really want to see and you can't find your glasses, or you're on a desert island where there aren't any, and you want to see but you don't have any glasses, if you want to see enough, eventually you would bring yourself into a position to be able to see. In other words, desire trumps belief. But in an environment where you can do so many different things to augment your out-of-the-vortex belief, then you rely on the facilities to augment your out-of-the-vortex belief rather than getting into the vortex. That's as well said as we can work your situation around to serve our purposes. In other words, we've noticed that most physical beings will do about anything short of getting into the vortex. In other words, if they can fix it through some sort of behavior, then they will.
Well, I spent a lot of time not wanting to be able to find that vortex, and maybe I tried too hard. Maybe I was really of the belief that before I even met up with you, that there's a distortion in my viewpoint that's distorting my view. And so I've been trying this way and that way, and then finally I gave in to getting glasses, and now I can see clearly and work becomes very easy.
Yes.
And
well, as you make peace with what is, in other words, if vision is your goal and the glasses give you vision, then you've accomplished your goal. But if you have another goal, which is to really understand the anatomy of your body and its relationship to vibration, then maybe the glasses isn't the answer. And it feels to us that you're asking a deeper question than about vision. Because if it's just about vision, then I got these really good glasses and I can see really well, and we say, next. We've taken this conversation far enough. But if there's more to what you're asking than that, then we've given you that answer too. Do you see aura or energy?
Sometimes I think I do. Sometimes I do.
When anyone else in the room, if you are wearing glasses and you want to see energy, take them off, because the glasses focus your eyes for this dimension, where to see auras you have to be able to interpret vibration in a different way. In other words, that's an interesting thing about that. Have you ever felt like you were seeing something in your peripheral vision, and when you turned to look at it, it was gone? Well, it's because your this vision is focusing differently than your forward vision. So you are sometimes, as you are focusing here, and this side vision is not focused, that's when you can interpret energy in different ways. The ghost always shows up over here, gone.